Hello and welcome to the Eagle Eye Picker. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of what I picked up during estate sales last weekend. Everything you see here is in one lot that I picked up at one estate sale. So everything here, I bundled it up and put it in my little bag that I carry with me, and I carried it to the register, and I paid $27 for this. Now I'm going to start over here because it's really a great find. I pull up in the utensil drawer. I always do this in the kitchen. First I look for them in knife blocks, but then I look in drawers, and that has to be these CUTCO knives. These CUTCO knives are bread and butter. Always on the lookout for these. They all appear to be in great shape with the exception of one of them, and this one has the tip broken off of it. But if you know anything about CUTCO, always pick it up broken, anywhere, damaged handles. Sometimes they get melted. You send them back, you can pay $10, you get a brand new knife in most cases. And if you can pick them up cheap, you'll get a $70 knife for spending $10 to get the service done on it. And you can resell these things for anywhere from like $40 to $45 a piece. So if you think about that, just these alone at around $100 at least, maybe $120, is going to make way more money. It's going to pay for this whole lot. I'm already going to be in the profit after these CUTCO knives. Always be on the lookout for these. You can tell distinctly by the handles of them, and obviously the brand name on them as CUTCO. So that's always a great find. I was super excited. I actually made a short video on my channel showing when I picked those up. Next items I'm going to look at here are these Hawaii license plates. These two, as you can see I'll hold them in my hand, they're smaller. These are license plate. This one actually doesn't have a date on it. It's green, I looked it up. It's apparently a 1973 plate. This one is a 1969, and they have kind of like engraved, embossed on it, the date here, 1969. These are all in great shape, as you can tell. And these were in frames. They were just little double sticky material in there, and they were charging $5 a piece for these. I looked them up on the spot. They were selling around $25, 20 to 25 bucks each. So it was a big, easy pickup for $5 a piece, getting 20. And also, because I bundled it all together, I only had to pay $27. So $17 is just this part of it. So a lot of it, you'll see, ends up being a really great deal. These four were actually on a stick that was also glued to a board hanging on the wall like a photograph would. And you can see these in the back. This one's from 1973. There's one from 72, 75, 74. Did a quick look up of those. They're selling around anywhere from $12 to $15 a piece. So here is at least another 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, probably $90 of sales. Again, I've already paid for the whole lot with one of these knives. I'm broken even, that is, and I'm already into the profit. Great pickup. Always look for these plates. If you follow my channel at all, you'll notice in some of my best sells for last year are municipality plates that I pick up. So municipality plates, also Hawaii bicycle and motorcycle plates are a great pickup. The next thing I want to look at, and I saw some of these selling, and that's why I ended up picking up, but these user guides for iMac, and then there's another one for the Mac OS X. This one's from 1998, Apple computer, obviously. I started picking these up just recently because I could get them so cheap. I paid less than $1 a piece for these. They were just kind of thrown in with the deal. I do see that some are selling for 10 or 12 bucks. People are starting to collect it, get more nostalgic, starting to want their whole legacy piece of hardware and get all the manuals that came with it. So I was glad to find those and pick those up. Over here, some items I probably shouldn't have picked up. You probably, if you're a geocacher, you probably recognize these things. So I don't do geocaching, but don't really know much about it. But I thought these looked cool. I probably will not sell these. Probably just give those away. But yeah, I thought they were interesting. No harm, no foul though, because of course I'll make my money elsewhere. I knew I'd be bundling, and there's probably be throw-ins anyway. Here is a pencil. If you follow my channel at all, you know I love pencils and pens. I picked these up. These Pentel 5mm pencils, drafting pencils, lead holding. They got an eraser underneath the cap here. I collect these everywhere I go. I pick them out of pencil holders, out of drawers. Artists have them, architects, engineers, planners, students have these things. And I'll bundle them together. I'll wait till I get like 5 or 10 of these together, and they'll sell easily for $3, $4, maybe even $5 a piece, depending on how bad people want them, and the different colors and the different lead diameters. So these are coming like 0.5, 0.7, or 9mm. So I always pick these up. I encourage you to do the same. They're definitely a good item for selling on eBay. And the last bit of this, like I said, everything you see here was in this lot. And the last bit of this piece is this tub, and it was just like this. I found it sitting in a closet. It was kind of an odd space, and it was GoPro stuff. I obviously recognize that. But it has the chest strap. This is what, like a lot of YouTubers you see walk around, they'll have their GoPro attached to this. It had the chest strap. It had a wrist strap. This was probably, the person probably did some underwater scuba diving, some snorkeling, and took some footage of that. But it had a whole bunch of accessories. Here's one of those little telescoping holders, kind of a selfie stick for a GoPro. It had the manual. It had the Hero 3. Again, this is an old model, but it did have a battery, and it had the charging cable. So I actually brought it home and charged the battery, and it works. It had another one that didn't work, but still. I was surprised that one worked at all. It also has a whole bunch of accessories that comes with these Hero, when you do this underwater packages of all the different types of assortments you can get. And as you can see, some of these stick-on mounts, they have that, the book, everything, wrist handles. So obviously it was an easy, no-brainer pickup. I don't even know how to determine how much of the value's there. I did look at lots of this on eBay for sale, after I got home, and I saw you could get some for like $40 and stuff. This has quite a bit more stuff than the example I saw though. So I figured probably get between $40 and $50 for what I decide to sell out here. I may keep a few pieces of this for myself as I do some GoPro recording myself. We're gonna go over here, wander over to this next sale. This is another one I went to. It was kind of an older house. These are the items. I'll just get a quick look at those. These are the items I picked up. I did pay $15 for this whole lot of stuff. It includes 2 slide rules. These are exactly the same, actually. It's a, AccuMath Model 900. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, I've always picked up slide rules. You can tell the nicer ones because they have metal and, good hardware on them. This actually had 2 of the exact same one, and they came with cases, which you don't often see together, or they're usually in bad shape. This is a very nice one. Maybe someone paid $19 somewhere in the past for it. But I always grab these. I don't really, if they're in good shape, I usually pick them up, because even if I know they're not special or real expensive ones, and I've sold some of these for as much as $150 a piece before, slide rules, rarer ones. I do pick these up, and I will lot them together. These I think sold, I think I saw some comps for around $10, $15 a piece when I got home. So I'll break even selling these. I also have a manual with it, came in this nice box, and they both have cases, so maybe I'll even get a little bit more. The rest of this is kind of vintage drafting supplies. This Kohinoor box, this metal case, actually has nothing to do with what's inside of it right now, but all this stuff was in there. This is a very nice little ruler. It's a Deitzen brand, made in the USA with the model number. I couldn't find any comps for this, but these kind of rulers are very desirable. A lot of people like to pick these up. Survey civil draftsmen, they'll do stuff, they'll do sketches maybe in the field, but and obviously they're obviously a little bit collectible as well. As far as the pins inside of here, there's not a lot of value. I looked at these real quick. This is part of a drafting set. It's kind of an ink, or it draws lines with ink. This is a dip pin. I do look at the tips always. You may have seen in some of my other videos where, a lot of these tips, if they're gold, are gold. They could be gold plated or 14 karat gold. So I always look at these. I grabbed this whole lot, and I thought you know, as I get ready to sell this, if I lot all this together, it'll probably sell way better than if I try to piece it out. So something else I picked up along with that is this Leroy lettering guide. I don't know if you know much about these, but these Leroy lettering guides, they're somewhat collectible, and I think some people actually use them. And they're used for doing all kinds of lettering and drawing. They actually utilize these plastic guides right here. You run them in there, you put an ink pen there, and you just follow along, and it does like perfect lettering for you. So this is a nice, cool, vintage kind of look and feel. It has the paperwork, it has the original box. Here's the original paper that went on, that this guide goes into. $2, you can see that. I got the whole lot for $15. So they were very negotiable, and I was very happy to get this lot. Paying $15, I'll probably, you know, make at least $60, I think, on all of this. So yeah, it'll be a good sale. The final thing we're going to look at is, and I got two things from this estate sale, and one was something I got for personal use, so I'm not showing that, but it was just actually kind of a little fold-out tripod seat, which I thought was really cool. But I carry all these up. I find them in a lady's closet, of course, in a drawer. They're all nice, neatly stacked. This is vintage pantyhose, silk reflections, silky sheer. These are thigh highs. They're just different types of Hanes products. This isn't the first time I bought stuff like this. I discovered last year sometime after buying a lot of these that, hey, they resell. And if you think about old stock things like stockings, people get very accustomed and used to wearing exactly what they have in the style that they have. So for example, if you're always on the lookout for packs of vintage socks, people like vintage Fruit of the Loom underwear, tidy whities, for example. You see that kind of stuff out there. Pick it up. You'd be surprised what that kind of stuff sells for. Well, this is kind of the same way. You know, women who want these and wore these all the time, they like to have the same style, the same feel, the same materials, and reuse them. So I paid $3 for all of these. And I got a funny look from the lady working the register at the estate sale. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, I might lock these together. That's why they're in separate little sets of 4 and 2 and 3 and 2. But I can get $6 or $7 a piece for each of these. So to turn $3 into 60 or 70 bucks, that's kind of a no-brainer for me. So I was definitely happy to pick it up. And what I'll do is I'll also pop a few comps in there. You'll see that there's probably not as many available, and the sell-through rate is decent. It'd probably be a longer lead sale, like it's not going to be picked up overnight typically, but I've sold every one of these that I've had. And again, I haven't decided whether I'm going to do them individually or am I going to bundle them up, because when people decide that they found their pair of pantyhose again and that they can get some more of it, they'll want to get all they can at a cheap price. So again, I'd say the highlights of this were definitely the CUTCO knives. These were kind of a slam dunk. Realistically, if I look at all of this that I bought, you know, a couple of these knives are going to pay for everything else. So everything else is going to be in the profit. These license plates were first time I found these. These were a great find. And I think this is going to be some great sellers on eBay. Stay tuned to my follow-up video when this stuff starts to sell, and I will show you, you know, the prices that I actually got for it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Again, this is the Eagle Eye Picker. I really appreciate you watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Be happy to chat with you. Love to hear what you're interested in. And we'll see you next time on the Eagle Eye Picker.